This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world. West Alabama, how we doing today on a Friday? It's the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. Hope you and yours are having a great day, getting ready for a big old weekend as summer is really upon us. It is the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. You're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can get the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. You're watching us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, the Bama Central Facebook page. We'd encourage you to subscribe to our channels right there. You'll never miss a moment of the action on the YouTube channel or any articles that we put out right there on the Facebook page. We are brought to you by Derek Daniel State Farm Insurance right here in Northport. We want to shout out the Northport Gazette for featuring Derek Daniel this past month. He has all those funny signs on his marquee, and the Northport Gazette did a story about Derek and his funny marquee. If you're driving up 69 North, you can see his funny signs, and you can call him at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Get yourself a free insurance quote today on your home, your life, your auto insurance, really anything in the insurance realm. Derek Daniel can take care of you. He takes care of us. Give him a chance. See how much money he can save you today. We also appreciate Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program. You can check them out at roofturtle.com for all of your roofing needs, residential or commercial. It doesn't really matter what kind of roof you've got in the state of Alabama. Purple Turtle Roofing can take care of you. So give them a call today at 877-787-6635 or check them out online at roofturtle.com. We hope you're enjoying the weekend, getting ready for a big Friday. Team USA plays again today. It is June 19th. It's Juneteenth, so I hope you have a great day if you're celebrating and getting out into the festivities. We're going to be celebrating today with our friend Theo Fernandez. You follow him at Theo Fernandez __ on the Twitter machine. Working at all things World Cup for Fox Sports. Holy smokes, it's a huge day for the World Cup as Team USA opens the action today at 2 o'clock. USA and Australia as America looks to continue its World Cup run after a big win in Game 1, looking for a big win in Game number 2. Theo, how are you, sir? Good morning.
Good morning, Joe. It is a U.S. national team day, so it's hard not to be excited. The vibes are high around here after watching us beat up on Paraguay, Australia, and Fighting Kangaroos, home of John Lem, up next today. So I'm excited. It'll be a fun day.
It is going to be a fun day. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to go back to yesterday's voicemail. We pushed Hunter Brantley's topic on basketball newcomers down the line. So we're going to go to that and address that. Which basketball newcomer do we think we're most excited about for this upcoming season? Hunter Brantley said Drew Fielder, the Boise State transfer. So we'll talk about that, and then we will get into our end of season awards. I have 5 awards to give out with the end of the academic calendar year. You had Alabama really have a super strong year from start to finish. I know that maybe some of them didn't perform or didn't finish the way that some of the fans would have liked to, but on the whole, what a strong athletic calendar year for the Crimson Tide. So we'll give out some superlatives, some awards today. So that's going to be the plan. But first, like we have every day we've been on in World Cup, let's pick the games. United States plays Australia at 2 o'clock on Fox. Scotland takes on Morocco at 5 o'clock on Fox. Brazil and Haiti at 7:30, and Turkey and Paraguay at 10 o'clock. Goodness gracious, 10 o'clock. You got a full day of soccer on tap today. Theo, I took United States to draw last time. What a mistake. I am definitely going to ride the wave and take USA to win. I'm going to take Morocco to beat Scotland. I'll take Brazil to beat Haiti in pretty emphatic fashion, and Turkey to squeak by Paraguay. What say you, soccer expert?
Yeah, it's time to hop on the bandwagon if you haven't. 2 o'clock Central. Wish it was going to be a primetime game, but with the holiday, I mean, it works, right? Not many people, or a lot of people have off work today. So give me USA Give me USA 3-1. Australia looked good. Their keeper made 8 saves. I like USA to keep it rolling, man. This momentum's going to keep building. I think Scotland plays Morocco to a draw. Morocco's the favorite, but they looked really bad. Or just underwhelming, them and Brazil both in their draw. So I have a draw there. I got Brazil probably scoring a touchdown on Haiti, and then I'll take Turkey to take it over Paraguay.
There we go. So we'll see what happens with the soccer, and then we'll catch back up with Theo on Monday about those games as well. So hope you enjoy the weekend that is ahead with the World Cup. Theo, let's go back to yesterday. We had a great two great calls from Everett and from Hunter about the end of the baseball season, and we talked extensively about the baseball season. We'll continue to do that as it becomes timely and as the conversation turns there. But Hunter gave us a second half of a voicemail where he wanted to get into basketball. He wanted to get into the upcoming basketball season. Man, Hunter never rests. He's ready to get into the next topic and keep the hot takes flowing. So he said, which Alabama basketball newcomer are you most excited about, or who will be most impactful in this upcoming season, 2026-27 season with Nate Oates? And so his nominee or his answer was Drew Fielder, the transfer from Boise State. And you've got a lot of interesting picks here. You've got Terrace Bowie, who's a freshman. Cole Kluger is a transfer from NC State. Jamarian Davis Fleming, transfer from Mississippi State as well. Drew Fielder, we just mentioned, Boise State transfer. Brandon Garrison, transfer from Kentucky. You got Jackson Richardson, true freshman, who that might be my pick. Caden Samuels, true freshman as well. So 3 true freshmen and 4 transfers. Hunter compared Drew Fielder to a more polished, a better shooting Grant Nelson. And if we can get that out of Drew Fielder, then sign me up 3 times in a row. I'm all about that. What do you think about these newcomers? Because I can't stop thinking about what Jackson Richardson can do as on both ends of the floor, but maybe that's what Drew Fielder is going to be doing as well, both ends of the floor, defensively, and kind of giving you that unique offense as a stretch 4, kind of smaller 5. What do you think about this group of 7 guys that Nate Oates has coming into the roster?
Right now, I look at Drew Fielder as someone just very, very high variance in how this could go for Alabama, right? I think that Drew Fielder probably has one of the lower floors of all the additions on the team, as far as like you could see him coming into Tuscaloosa playing for this team, and it just doesn't work out, right? You could see, as a lot of Nate Oates additions have, right? We've seen this happen before, but you could also see him come in and, yeah, better shooting Grant Nelson certainly seems like a pretty accurate ceiling for what he could give this team. I mean, the ceiling is sky high with Fielder. And I like the additions a lot. I think Richardson is probably a pretty safe pick to contribute and be the star freshman of this year's team. He's not a bad pick at all. I'm going to go with Jamarian Davis Fleming as mine. He's a guy that I just think he offers a level of stability at the 5 that Alabama has been lacking. And I feel pretty relatively secure in thinking that, yeah, he should be a solid piece for this Crimson Tide team. He should give you something, certainly something that you didn't have last year outside of Aiden Sherrill. But I like the way that he, as a pretty traditional 5, can evidently move up and down the court, can, I believe, handle the speed of the Nate Oates system. I like him a lot as a piece for this Alabama team. I think he'll be a lot more impactful than maybe some people have expected at this point.
Theo, I think that is a mature pick. Oh, man, that makes me I think that is a smart pick because, look, I probably would have picked Jackson Richardson. I will take Jackson Richardson just because of the flash and the excitement and the NBA pedigree right there. But as you said, Jamarian Davis Fleming, I thought, well, that should have been the pick considering what Alabama did not have last season and what I see kind of a more post play, a more center like Muhammad Diabate, where Muhammad Diabate gave you the grit and gave you the rebounding, but he was really more of a big 3, small 4. I think that the Jermaine Davis-Fleming is going to give you that grit, going to give you defensive presence from the 5, going to be able to protect the rim. You had that a little bit with Cliff Amore, but I kind of see a little bit of that, and maybe not as much of an offensive threat as Amore. And Amore is kind of probably one of those guys that you mentioned that you were thinking of as transfers in and wasn't exactly what you wanted. I mean, good at times, but it just didn't live up to the hype that he brought from Rutgers. I like Davis-Fleming as a pick because of really what you did not have last year defensively from the 5 and rebounding from the 5. I think that's a brilliant pick, Theo.
Yeah, like to me, in an ideal world for this Alabama team, you probably have Davis-Fleming playing in the 22 to 24 minute range. 24 might be slightly on the high end, but I think that ideally he's your primary guy. You throw Garrison out there for 14 minutes. I feel like you'd be happy with that number. And then Keaton Bristow is probably it's hard right now to forecast where he lands, I would say, but you probably similar to Garrison, maybe. I could see him landing anywhere from like 8 to 18 minutes a night, right? And I could see the other guys, adjusting as that goes. And then, like, you have just a lot of I would have a really hard time sitting down right now and projecting minutes for all the bigs on this team because you just have a lot of variables. One of them is Cole Clore, right? One of them is how does Cole Clore hold up physically? What can he do for you on the glass? Does he play like
Sam
a legitimate,
Walters?
Capable 6'8" guy? Or is this Sam Walters, like, we just can't trust him at all on the other end of the floor? That is a huge factor too. Drew Fielder, his defensive game is a massive swing as well. Like, you just have a lot. And then I would even throw in what does Taris Bowie, what does Jackson Richards, what do they look like defensively? What do you do with them? Like, there's just so much that's going to determine who gets on the floor for these bigs. That's why I certainly feel like Davis-Fleming is almost the one non-negotiable as far as, if I had to bet on one guy to be on the court 20 minutes a game as a big, it would be Davis-Fleming.
Yeah, I think that's a strong pick, and I think you elaborated very, very well right there. So maybe you're talking me out of my Jackson Richardson pick because I was so frustrated with the defense and rebounding from the 5 position last year. I thought, man, you got Aiden Terrell sometimes playing the way you wanted him to, but he just wasn't consistent enough on the defensive end. Theo, staying with the basketball real quick, we were invited. I was driving yesterday, so Hunter DeCiver participated. You can read it on BamaCentral.com. But I wonder, did the Golden State Warriors reveal their hand yesterday? Because the Golden State Warriors put LeBaron Philon through a workout and then allowed him to do a media session basically as I just worked out for the Warriors media session, pre-draft session. To me, I'm super, super grateful to be invited to be a part of that. A lot of the Alabama beat writers were, and Hunter participated. To me, I wondered, did the Golden State Warriors reveal their hand? They're picking at number 11 overall next month. And so to me, I'm like, if you're putting this kid through a workout and then you're putting him on a Zoom and you're specific, because we were told that the Warriors invited the Bama beat writers. The Alabama SID sent us the link and said the Warriors wanted y'all to have this to participate in this Zoom, in this press conference if y'all wanted to. And we all said thank you, that sort of thing. But my thought was, did the Warriors give away their draft plan? Are they locked into drafting LeBaron Philon at number 11?
That would be a fun landing spot, that's for sure. I mean, it really does feel like it will probably come down to Golden State and Miami, right? And the Warriors have Miami picks 13, so the Warriors have the edge there. First of all, color me absolutely stunned if Philon falls out of the lottery at this point, right? With reported very high interest from both of these teams. That'd be a fun landing spot. Like, yeah, that would be if I had to pick two landing spots of the teams in the lottery for LeBaron Philon, it's just from the perspective of wanting to watch him flourish as an NBA player and grow and develop. And those two would be very high on that list.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be watching some LeBaron Philon with the Miami Heat or the Golden State Warriors. You know, some of the teams, I'm sorry, I just can't pay attention to or don't want to pay attention to. I could, but I don't want to pay attention to. Warriors and Heat would be pretty easy for me to plug into. I mean, ask me how many Charlotte Hornets games I've watched over the last 3 years. Zero. I've seen the Brandon Miller highlights, but I have not watched any game like sitting down, I'm going to watch the Hornets, but I probably would watch the Heat and the Warriors.
That'll change this year, Joe. This Hornets team is, man, I wish they didn't have Miles Bridges starring for them, but like they're a very, very fun team as far as the on-court product.
Our man Keith Connell chiming in saying, good morning, fellas. Hope everybody's doing well. We appreciate you watching us, Keith Connell. And Everett Osmer chiming in on the Facebook machine on the comments. Joe Gaither for baseball coach, Theo football coach, Katie for softball coach. I think the only one that would work out is Katie on the softball side. But look, Katie, I think maybe she helps out Coach Murphy. I don't know that me as a baseball coach or a basketball coach in his next comment would work out very well. I mean, look, in replacement of what you have right there at the capstone, I think you're doing good with what you have and don't need me to be replacing anybody.
Theo for head coach of baseball, since he loves to bash the baseball team. Is that what I've been reduced to? Am I just the negative baseball guy at this point?
Oh, well, I don't think you were that negative. I think you just rode the wave of the season because the season was highs and lows. I mean, when you're striking out 49 times against Texas in a weekend, or when you are leading the SEC in errors, or when you are hitting, what were they like? 200 something in hitting. They were low in hitting nationally. There were definitely things to criticize, but also give them a lot of credit for overcoming those aspects and making it all the way to the College World Series.
I want to see you coach some basketball, Joe. That'd be fun.
Woo! I would. We'd be running. There would be no tolerance for slow play. It would be none at all. I'd be losing my voice really, really quickly. Let's get into the second part of the show. I want to give some superlatives. I've got 5 categories to go over for the end of the Alabama season. I have Alabama Athlete of the Year, Coach of the Year, Team of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, and Moment of the Year. So we encourage you to jump in and leave us your comments for these superlatives. And we're going all the way back to last year's soccer season. Really, that's what starts the academic athletic calendar year is Alabama soccer, all the way to baseball or softball, whichever team lasts the longest. So it was a great athletic and academic calendar year, and we want to give some awards real quick on this program. You can leave a comment at Joe Gaither 6, at BamaCentral, at Theo Fernandez _. You can leave us your voicemails with your nominees or your winners at 205-462-7340, extension 800. So before we get right into the awards, we want to tell you about our friends at Purple Turtle Roofing. We're not just another contractor, we're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. You can visit us online at roofturtle.com or call us at 877-PT-ROOF-5. That's 877-787-6635. We'll come out and give you a free roof inspection, let you know if you got any trouble spots on your roof, and give you the peace of mind that you deserve. So check them out online at roofturtle.com. All right, Theo, I've got a list here. Jeremy Scott, appreciate you watching the show. Roll Tide and go USA. Absolutely. We're going to back you up right there. Hopefully, big old 4-1 win for USA again today. If you can just duplicate that, that would be A-OK. We appreciate you chiming in and watching the show. Theo, let's get right into some awards. I have all these categories, and I've got some nominees. If you don't hear a nominee that you think should be on here, please jump in here. You can go rogue and submit who you want to win these awards. Let me get my sound effect right about there. Is that what I want? Hey, all right. So our sound effect is ready, and let's get right into Alabama Athlete of the Year. My list is just 4. I have 4 nominees. I have Ty Simpson, LeBaron Philon, Jocelyn Brisky, and Justin LeBron. And you may not agree with the Justin LeBron nominee, but I think the face of the program that gets you back to the College World Series deserves some recognition. Obviously, Jocelyn Brisky speaks for herself, SEC Pitcher of the Year, and was absolutely dominant all season long, getting Alabama to the semifinals. LeBaron Philon, Philon speaks for himself. Going to be a top 10, top 15 pick next month. We just mentioned that. And then Ty Simpson going from bench player to first-round draft pick, battling his you-know-what off, battling through all kinds of injuries and illness through the season to get Alabama to the SEC title game, winning over in Athens, getting to the college football playoff, winning a game. I think Ty Simpson deserves a spot right here on this list. I'm having a hard time not just giving it to Jocelyn Brisky, but what do you, is there somebody I'm missing? Is there an athlete of the year that I'm missing for this Alabama athletic season?
Doris Lemgula has to be on the list. There's no way you can have this list and not include her.
I think I probably would have included her had she not been disqualified from the 5,000 meter last. And you could push back. I mean, was that a bad reason to not include her? I mean, she won the race, but stepped on the line and got DQ'd on a technicality.
I mean, you're still
SEC
looking at
champion,
all the course records and all the other championships and winning the SEC like. I don't know. I feel like the track record, no pun intended, still speaks for itself. Even though this was actually her least decorated year as far as stuff that she won. A lot of that was because she took a lot of time off to go run in pro races or on the actual circuit. So she's not going to be my winner this year, but I think she has to be. If you're having a list of candidates, I feel like you have to include her.
There we go. So I'm picking Jocelyn Brisky because of what she did in the circle for Alabama and taking out the Alabama softball team the furthest of any team. So Jocelyn Brisky is my athlete of the year.
Yeah, Brisky is a very good pick, Brisky. I'd have to think long and hard about if I would pick her. Since you took her, I'm going to make things simple, and I'm going to go with LeBaron Philon. He was special this year. He was just one of the most dominant offensive players we've seen come through this program, exceeding expectations in every way. Knockdown 3-point shooter after that being, such a sticking point the year before. We should be still blown away by what Philon did for the team this year.
I'm with you. What a special year for him, and I'm going to give him an award later on in the program. Let's go right into Coach of the Year. I have 4 nominees right here. Again, if you see one that belongs right here that I enlist, feel free to jump in here. But I'm going very obvious. Baseball coach Rob Vaughn. I'm going Nate Oates, Alabama men's basketball. I'm going softball Patrick Murphy, and I'm going track and field Dan Waters, and really it's track and field and cross country. He gets cross country as well. So I mean, maybe a little bit of semantics or whatnot. But Coach Waters gets men's and women's cross country, men's and women's indoor track, and men's and women's outdoor track. I think that he's the most decorated coach of this season with an SEC title and a couple of individual national title winners. Speaking Samuel Ogazi being the kind of the headliner right there. No consideration. I'm sorry, Coach DeBoer. I left you off of my top 4. Are you going straight Rob Vaughn or are you going someone else?
I have to go Vaughn. I mean, look, I have talks about how I thought Vaughn should have been SEC Coach of the Year. Patrick Murphy had an incredible season. I think it comes down to those two, if we're being honest. And it's crazy because Nate Oates did an incredible coaching job with this team. And I just don't think it can come close to the outstanding work done by both Coach Murphy and Coach Vaughn. But at the end of the day, you were picked 13th in this conference, and you ended the drought you were hired to end. You did what you were told to do as the coach after being given the keys to the program. Special season for Rob Vaughn. I'm not even really considering anyone else for this award.
I think you're dead on there, but since you took Rob Vaughn, I'll go Patrick Murphy for my coach of the year because of what he has done, revamping his program. I mean, coaches are stubborn, man, and they've got their way of looking at the game and approaching the game. And I think Coach Murphy has evolved throughout his time in Tuscaloosa. And this past off season, setting up this year, showed another evolution of, hey, I'm going to try to get some more bats in the lineup, some more power in the lineup, and to go from an offense that wasn't really that exciting over the last 2 or 3 years to an offense that was about as explosive as any other offense in the country. I know didn't end up the way they wanted to, and Texas Tech shut them down, but really revamped the program and really revamped the Alabama offense. I think the pitching's always going to be good. So I'm going to go Patrick Murphy for getting the girls to the semifinals, but also specifically just revamping his approach and revamping the Alabama offensive system for the softball team. We got to keep moving right along, and this may be the exact same outcome, but we're going to look at Team of the Year, and I put basketball, softball, baseball, and men's and football. So I think that you probably go to the same. Baseball, softball wins Team of the Year because of lasting so long. Football, you did get to the SEC title game. You did win a playoff game. Basketball, you got to the Sweet 16. You give any consideration to the big two sports, football or basketball, or is this award Team of the Year just about the diamond sports?
No, it has to be one of the diamond sports. And I do think Team of the Year has to go to softball. Softball is too dominant to not get it. Just a special season for Team 30.
I think that's the right choice. We talked about it yesterday when Katie Wyndham was ranking the teams by performance, and she had softball number one. I want to be clear, I was being totally tongue in cheek about her being biased. That is the obvious choice. The ladies went second place in the SEC regular season and got all the way to the SEC title game in the tournament and got all the way to the semifinals. And we just mentioned kind of how that they have revamped their offense, and their pitching staff was incredible. So not deviating from you there, Theo. I'm also going softball for Team of the Year. We are flying right along with our awards this season. I think here's where we're going to get into some debate. I'm going to go throw at you newcomer of the year. Freshman or transfer. Any freshman or transfer qualifies. And I got a lot of freshmen and one transfer on my list here. So listen closely. The nominees that I have when I was putting this together: freshman Amari Allen, freshman Eric Hines, freshman Lassier Brooks and Dijon Lee, freshman Miles Upchurch and Vic Moten. And I've got Houston transfer, Brooke Wells for the Alabama softball team. I think that you can go a lot of directions. I'm personally feeling a little bit of Amari Allen. I might have left off Michael Carroll. That's a great one to throw in there. He started Alabama at tackle after a couple of games. I think that he deserves some recognition. Vic Moten was incredible in the circle for Alabama. But, there's a lot of transfers that I'm not throwing out there. Theo, leaving you all that to pick right up. What do you think? Alabama newcomer of the year, freshman or transfer?
I do think the award will come down to a freshman. As far they were the more impactful players, and obviously there were whiffs in the portal across all the sports. We know that. For I'd throw Iowa transfer Jenny Young in as a contender. I know she had a great season with that team.
Yeah.
I'd also throw in a gymnastics freshman, Azariah Akbar. She
Yes.
was in gymnastics circles, like they talk about her as a really, really just probably face of the team program, one of the best athletes in the sport within the next couple of years. I don't know enough about her to make her my pick, but no, I feel like we've got a good list of the candidates, and there are so many different directions we could go in this one, Joe.
Yeah. So, man, I think that I love Amari Allen for what he did and how he performed this season, but for me, I look further down this list and I look at moment of the year, which is going to be coming up next, and I'm going to pick the freshman that has some nominees right here in moment of the year, and I'm going to pick Lucia Brooks as your newcomer of the year because of what he did against Missouri, what he did against Oklahoma. I know he only scored a couple of touchdowns, both of them in that college football playoff game, but as far as a lightning rod and as far as a player who kept your season alive a couple of different times and get look, when Ryan Williams was struggling, Lucia Brooks stepped right up and gave you kind of that electricity in the wide receiver room. So for me, my newcomer of the year in Alabama athletics is going to be Alabama freshman Lucia Brooks.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that pick at all, and I agree with what you said on Allen. I think you can expect to probably very likely take home one of these awards next year, but we'll leave him off on this. I really do hate to do this, Joe. Like, I hate being just the, down the middle, easy guy, but I have to split this award because you have two players on the diamond who did basically the same thing for you this year. Looking at these teams, Miles Upchurch and Vic Moten both filled a very, very integral role for you. As where would your pitching have been without these guys? Where would Alabama baseball have landed if Miles Upchurch wasn't there to win you series on Sunday? Miles Upchurch both of these pitchers certainly look like future All-American caliber players. They both played some really, really mature games on the diamond this year. Alabama does not host a regional without Miles Upchurch. Going in and salvaging, a series against Texas, right? Going in and, securing sweeps against teams like Vanderbilt or Florida, he got blown up, but Auburn. There were so many moments this year where Miles Upchurch did not look like a freshman at all. You can say the exact same thing about Vic Moten, right? Somebody who would come in. Oh, if Jocelyn Brisky, the few times she would run into some trouble, who's there to finish the game? It's Vic Moten. Like, you had a bona fide number two, and I don't know if Alabama quite expected to have that as a softball team. Vic Moten blew everyone away. I feel pretty good about these two splitting this award, and I think there's a very strong chance they're both in contention for Athlete of the Year next season.
I think that you're spot on, and I would encourage you not to feel guilty about that because I was just like writing nominee after nominee. I was like, oh man, this guy, that girl, all kinds of great newcomers for the Alabama athletic season. Now, Theo, I only had one nominee here. I'm throwing this one at you just as a bonus. Breakout star. I had a hard time coming up with more than one nominee here, so I'll get you. I was scratching. I was trying to come up with categories, and breakout star. I wanted to just kind of go broader based other than newcomer of the year. And the only name that came to my brain as I kept thinking about this, and maybe this is a lack of creativity, and you can help me out here. I'll take the blame here. But Yanzi Pierre was the only name that I could really latch onto, and maybe that just means that he's the obvious winner. But is there anybody that you think, breakout star. This player, not a freshman, not a transfer, but this player was on one of these rosters. And I mean, you can go Aiden Sherrill, because I think Aiden Sherrill's play did improve here at Alabama over these couple of years, and especially this year. But to me, it was, and maybe it's positional value of edge rusher. You're getting pressure on the quarterbacks. You're getting big sacks in that LSU game, and you're getting after Tennessee. I couldn't come up with really anybody other than Yanzi Pierre to give a breakout star to. So it's okay if you can't, because I didn't prepare you for this one before the show. But is there any other player on any team that you think deserves a spot on the breakout star list for the Alabama athletic season?
Yeah, off the top of my head, I'm going to throw two at you. One of them is going to be Jessica Timmons, coming off a season-ending injury, hadn't played the year before, and then I guess if there was a comeback player of the year award, I'd give it to her. But she completely elevated. Like, she was a pretty just average, normal starting point guard for this team, and then she transformed into an all-SEC second-team guard. And that is breakout. That's a breakout right there. And she got drafted into the WNBA as an undersized guard as a result. So I think that's a solid candidate there. And then the other one, and the one who, despite Yanze impressing, is going to win it for me, is Brady Neal. I mean, Brady Neal was just so painfully average for this team the year before. And Brady Neal will be the first one to tell you that. How many times has Brady Neal in press conferences gone and talked about how bad he was in 2025, right? As far as players who were playing before, didn't come in as a complete unknown and elevated, most improved, breakout, whatever word you want to use, I'd go Brady Neal. He was the best hitter for a team that went to Omaha. Breakouts don't get much brighter than that.
I think that's a good pick, and I should have talked to you before the show, and we would have come up with a couple of nominees right there and had a good category. So I think Brady Neal is a good pick. I'll go Yanzi, and you'll go Brady Neal, and we'll round out the category. Theo, at the very end, I mean, we've blitzed right through this, and I think that's A-okay, because we're just trying to put a bow on the Alabama athletic season here. But the last category I have is Moment of the Year, and I have a bunch of good moments. So put your nostalgia hat on and sit back and think about Lassie Brooks catching a fourth down pass against Missouri as Ty Simpson's rolling out backwards and just dropping it in the bucket to keep you alive as you're trying to beat 4 ranked opponents in 4 weeks. Whew. That stands out to me. I have football's comeback win at South Carolina. I mean, you were dead over in Columbia. Your offense was not playing worth the flip, and Ty Simpson actually drives you down the field, and you've got the little kind of pop pass to Jeremy Bernard around the corner to win the game. I think that stands as one of these moments of the year. I mean, Xavier Brown, you get Xavier Brown double moment. You 99-yard pick six against Tennessee. The stadium fell down around us as Xavier Brown really slams the door on Tennessee at the end of the first half. But then Xavier Brown again, and really the larger moment of Alabama coming back against Oklahoma in that college football playoff game. Xavier Brown at the end of the half jumping a route, and what was it, about 55-yard pick six at that point, midfield right there for Xavier Brown, getting you back into that game. So a bunch of football moments if you want to pick from football. LeBaron Philon at Tennessee to end the losing streak at Tennessee, laughs at the postman who gets swapped onto him and says, "I'm about to take your soul," dribbles down and hits a small little fadeaway in the lane to win that game. Oh, gives me the goosebumps to think about that. Tyler Fay, how can you have this list without Tyler Fay throwing a dadgum no-hitter against Florida? Just absolutely impressive. I've got Samuel Ogazi setting an NCAA record, 400-meter dash, NCAA record, the fourth fastest 400-meter dash of all freaking time. for Samuel El-Ghazi. And then you just mentioned Brady Neal as breakout star. I've got Brady Neal, the home run against Oklahoma State to send Alabama into the Tuscaloosa Super Regionals to win the regional and to keep the season alive. I think there's so many moments, and I know I missed a bunch, Theo. So if there's one that sticks, or two, the three that stick out in your head that I missed, feel free to throw them out there, because what a year it was for Alabama athletics.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw the Alabama-Arkansas game in there as a moment. Was there a more fun 2.5 hours of watching Alabama athletics than that game? And that was special. The atmosphere, if you were there in person, was absurd. I'm sure you had a great time watching it on TV if you weren't able to make it. And that game had everything.
Surviving Darius Acuff.
If I had to pick a game of the year, that would be it. Would that be my game of the year pick, or would it be Alabama going on the road in the college football playoff? It would probably be Alabama against Oklahoma in the college football playoff. Yeah, I think I feel good about that pick if there was a game of the year. But we're doing moment of the year, and I feel good about our list of candidates. Nothing jumps out at me to add. First no-hitter in 84 years. What Tyler Fay did was spectacular. It was special. It will be talked about for decades to come. And it will be the enduring symbol of this team and this Alabama baseball historic season. I'm going to go Tyler Fay, turning the season around with his no-hitter against a top 10 Florida team.
I mean, what a moment. You've come off getting swept by Kentucky the week earlier, and everybody's talking doom and gloom, and watch out, Florida's coming to town, and they're going to keep the bad times rolling for you. And Tyler Fay, no hitter. We're resetting this program, or we're resetting this season. I think that is a great, great pick. I have a hard time not picking one of these Xavier Brown interceptions. Goodness gracious. Game-changing, season-changing, kind of, man, you lose to Tennessee. I mean, and it wasn't like you were losing at that point, but Tennessee was on the doorstep of really keeping it a very close game. And Xavier Brown says, we're going to the locker room on a super euphoria, and he did it twice. I have a hard time not picking either of those Xavier Brown pick sixes, but for me, it's all about LeBaron Philon because of how many times you have had heartbreak against Tennessee over the last handful of seasons. Rick Barnes has had your number, NATO. And look, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Rick Barnes is a great coach, and they play a really tough physical brand of basketball, but Tennessee has had your number for the last couple of seasons, and to go to Knoxville and to really be in that position. LeBaron Philon says, I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to be the winner. That one gave me a little bit of an emotional excitement for a couple of days because Alabama got that win back over Tennessee over 4 or 5 in a row. It lost 4, 5, 6 in a row to Tennessee. I think LeBaron Philon, game winner at Tennessee, is my pick for moment of the year.
Yeah, I mean, this really is, when you sit back and look at it, and man, first of all, this year flew by. Second of all, there were so many great moments, just a net positive year for the athletic department, right? And now when you take yourself out of football didn't end the way you wanted to. That is going to put a massive dent in things. But when you step back and when you look at just the state of the program and look what you did in the postseason, right? Football, college football playoff. Both basketball teams in March Madness. Both baseball teams, baseball and softball, both diamond teams in the World Series. The standard resides in Tuscaloosa.
And Theo, as we close the program here, with this kind of wrap up, it just makes me think, man, how blessed are we? You and I get to sit right there inside of some of these biggest moments, a handful of feet away, some of these biggest moments, and experience the euphoria of the fan base and experience sometimes the heartbreak of the fan base and sometimes the irritation of the fan base. But man, how blessed are we to be right here watching these athletes, watching these coaches, watching this athletic department really, really strive for greatness all the time. And I'm just lucky to have a front row seat.
Yeah, it's a special job. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Grateful for all you for listening. I mean, we're out here talking about Alabama athletics, and you guys make it a part of your lives to listen and get informed off of what we say. So that incredibly appreciative. I know we had our second most successful month ever last May, and we're going to fall short this June just because of how much time we've taken off. But we are going to set a new record every single month throughout the football season, and you guys are going to help us do that. We really appreciate all the support here on this program.
Perfect way to close the program, Theo. Enjoy the afternoon. Enjoy the day. Team USA at 2 o'clock. I hope you get your red, white, and blue on and watch Team USA take down Australia at 2 o'clock. Make sure you follow Theo Fernandez at Theo Fernandez _ as he is working his absolute tail off at Fox Sports, getting you all the coverage of the World Cup that you need. We'll talk to you on Monday on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Amazon. We'll talk to you on Monday on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, on the BamaCentral Facebook page. We have been so blessed, and it's been a great season. We're ready to turn it over and look forward to the 2026-27 athletic calendar year, and we're going to do that right here on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com.